Racing takes place on Saturday out at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. We are racing on the winter course Saturday, the 24th of June 2023. We've got 10 races on the program, and with the 10 races, Barpod will of course begin in race number 2, PA race number 3, and the Pick 6 in race number 4. And I'm joined by Dees in studio, and hopefully we can guide you guys in the right direction. Dees, how are you doing?
Okay, I didn't watch racing during midweek, that race meeting on Thursday, but I had a look at the results. And, considering the interrupted preparations, etc., with the havoc with weather down in the Western Cape, there were some good results. And, of course, there were some difficult horses to find. But I would say, overall, it's a level playing field with regards to most of the stables. And those type of results will be expected. But, this race meeting, we'll see if it goes in the favor of the punters, because there's some nice horses running.
Yeah, well, we begin in race number 1, which is set to get the meeting underway at 11:45, and race number 1, 1,200 meters a trip. Early scratching, race 1, number 1 is out, and Noonday Gun is your 2-1 favorite. Diamond Rock at 3-1. It's 33-10 about Speed Racer, 10-1, and better bar those. Now, these, when having a look at this event, I thought Diamond Rock was just a horse that they all had to beat. Now, he's dropping in trip to 1,200, but his form line of his last start has been franked. Spirits Unite coming through to win. And Aldo Domea aboard. I think this horse is going in the right direction. And for me, I think he's the one that they all have to beat. Although the value in the race, I think, could be stable companion number 5, Right Royal Mo, who I think will just improve a lot now that he steps up to 1,200 meters.
I'm not confident with anything here, Ryle. I'd actually like to just take up, trifecta box. It doesn't form part of the exotics. I've singled out 5 horses in order of preference. I'm going to go 10, 11, 4, 5, and 7. And I kind of make up my mind on which horse could be the right horse of these 5 horses. So I think a trifecta box with those 5 runners that will cost you 5 times 4 is 20. 20 times 3, which is 60 Rand. I think you'll get a decent return on your investment, but I'll go 10, 11, 4, and then a toss-up between 5 and 7.
Yeah, trifecta box to get the day started there from Dees. And Noonday Gun, if you manage to beat him for that first position, then you're certainly going to be in for a nice dividend in those trifectas and quartets. Next up will be race number 2, and race number 2 set to get the Barpod rolling 12, 1,200 meters at distance, and this is an open maiden. And having a look at the fixed odds betting market, remember my name, your 6-10 favorite. It's Steadfast at 11-2. Then it's a Call to Unite at 7-1, 10-1, and better bar those. Now, this event, obviously the form doesn't particularly stand out, but number 8, remember my name, beaten half length last time out behind Mighty Mac. He's a horse that has to concede weight, but this does look to be the right type of race for him to shed his maiden tag.
Yeah, it looks like the right type of field. The one runner that I picked out that could be in double figures, that could be the joker of the pack, is number 2, Snow Cloud. But having a look at the first leg of the Barpod, I personally think you'll be safe with 2 horses, 8 and 12. How confident can you be with the 6-10 shot? Well, you're going to have to be the judge. Well, the one thing we know is that Captain Casanova came out to win from that form of that last start. And this horse, number 12, the stable companion, well, he did his chances at the start, and he was expected to be green. Most of these young horses first up, so he was slow away, but he did make steady progress through the field. So I'll go 8 and 12 there in the first leg of the Barpod. That's race number 2. Starting off the place accumulator, race number 3 over 1,400 meters. At the time of recording, number 1 at 7-2, 3 at 3-1, 4 at 5-2, 5 at 7-2. 7 at 7-1, and 8 is an 8-1 shot. I'm going to be in the camp of Bardolino here, Rael, Brett Crawford's runner. Went for the horse last time out. Yes, I was one of the guys that took a bit of the 6-1 and found Future Turn better on the day. Between himself and Future Turn, I don't think there'll be much that will separate them again in this race. And then number 4, Charlie Croker, the consistency that he's had throughout his career, I think that demands the utmost respect. So that's going to be my top 3, but the race doesn't stop there. 5, 3, and 4.
Yeah, I'm with you with on horse number 5, Bardolino. That's going to be the top selection as well. Intimidator, that's going to be the second choice. I think he's a horse that with a plum draw now and JP aboard, I think this 1,400 meter trip could suit him. And then of course, healthy respect for Charlie Croker, who's in super consistent form. Good second last time out, and he enjoys the course and distance. So perhaps you can play around numbers 1, 3, 4, and 5 in race number 3, and trifectas, quartets with those numbers. I think you should be good enough. Next up will be race number 4, which will be the start of the Pick 6. And this is the winter sprint over 1,200 meters. 1:30, the time that you need to get your bets on by. And Bereave, well, he's a clear standout in this event. He's your favorite at 14-10. 3-1 about Mufasa, 11-2 Silver Falcon. The only scratching is number 9, Gem King. I think I've found a bit of value in the race in the form of number 7, Barcelona. Now, when you go through every single collateral form line, he comes out extremely well weighted. The only negative is that he's probably not in the best of form at the moment, but with 52.5, the pace likely to be on with a few horses that like to go up there. I think this horse Barcelona, he could be camping behind them, and just if the gaps open up at the right time, I think he could produce a nice strong late run at around 14-1. Hopefully he can run a cheeky race, but I think number 4 Bereave's the one to beat you.
I'm going to go. You have to take a chance on this card. It looks competitive racing. I mentioned the level playing field, but with sprinters, you can get away with it without putting in the stamina work back home. It's not about fitness. Most of them just run on raw ability. You just have to keep them ticking over. And even with 61.5 kgs, he's the proven sprinter in the race. He's competed at the highest level. He's matched strides with the Gimme a Prince, who we know what he's gone on to do, winning the Golden Horse Sprint. A really talented sprinter is Gimme the Prince, and this fellow has got his scalp and run close up to him. So I think number 4, Bereave, at 14-10. There'll be many takers as those odds. He does top the best weighted column. He looks like a standout against this type of field. And with regards to fitness, well, hopefully Adam Marcus has got him close to 90, 100%. I don't think he has to be fully tuned up to win a race like this. If he's anywhere near ready, I think he wins. He's the banker bet for me, number 4, Winter Spirit, and Ryle finding you some value there with Candice Bass Robinson's horse trading at 14-1, number 7, Barcelona. Wouldn't that be a nice exacta? 7 beating my selection. Wow, then you'll get some decent money there if 7 beats number 4. 14-1 shot there. Nice find from Ryle. Race number 5, Somerset 1200, a listed race over 1,200 meters. Of course, we know the card scratchings of numbers 4, 8, and 9. Number 4, Distant Winter. We'll see her on Hollywoodbets Durbanville July Day, and I'm really excited to see how she goes over that 1,400 meter trip. She's taking on the might of Sean Terry on July Day, but we'll see how she fares against Lady Geriatrics. Race number 5, Somerset 1200, listed race, Ryle. Baltic Secret. Now that we have these scratchings, it is a smaller field. I know was well beaten by Distant Winter last time out. Personally, I expected a bit better from her. On how she won first time out, I thought that she'll get, very close to Distant Winter or maybe even beat her. So I was a bit disappointed with that run. But when you take out Distant Winter from this race, surely he stands out for you.
Franco and all bets, D's. I think this filly will take a power beating. I'm going to say that she was a winner without a penalty for her last start. I think she should have won. She was terribly unlucky. And I think that she'll get the job done in this event. She looks to be quite a talented individual. And I think that this field is it's not as strong as the field that she took on last time out. And I expect her to come through this event with flying colours. So banker for me in all bets.
I agree. Race number 5. Well, we are going well. When I initially had a look at the cards, it's amazing that you have a chat with a colleague or a friend or a racing fan and you go to the card and you just straight build in confidence if you're both on the same page. Well, race number 4, Bereave is the one I like as a banker. And now that we both agree, I think race number 5, horse number 3, Baltic Secret, is going to be a banker as well. Race number 6, Perfect Promise Sprint, a listed race over 1,200 meters. This is how they're betting at the time of recording. Horse number 1, 2-1. Number 3, 5-2. 3 at 33-10. 4 at 5-1, and 6 is at 8-1. Yeah, I'm going to go 2 horses here, Ryle. I'm actually going to leave out, this could be very costly of me, but I'm going to leave out horse number 3 from the betting. I'm just going to go the 2 horses, numbers 1 and 2, Candice Bass Robinson versus Justin Snate. This horse, Summer Lily, she started off as a fancied horse in the betting when she debuted, and then come race time, she just blew out in the betting market. But that didn't tell the full story because she came to win like she was a good thing.
I was actually quite surprised that she did drift out in the market, D's, and the way that she won would suggest that, as you mentioned, she was a good thing on the day. But I don't think that form is particularly strong, and I think October Morn is the horse to beat. Obviously, we're all in the camp of Baltic Secret in the previous race, so we expect the form line to be franked off the winter nursery, and I think October Morn, that level of form is a bit too strong for the individuals that she does take on in this event. She's a filly that I think is going to love the 1200 meter trip, love being back over it. Aldo De Mea aboard for Candice Bass-Robinson, and I think that this is the one to beat here. The value in the race for me lies with number 8, Onisan, because her form line is extremely, extremely strong. There's been 5 runners and 3 winners already from that form line, with a second to add to it. And she was beaten behind October Morn in that penultimate start, beaten behind Siddeley. But I think she's a horse that at around 16 to 1, I don't think she's a 16 to 1 shot in this lineup. I think she can get closer to the action. And she's one that I'm definitely going to include into exactors and swingers. I think that she's overpriced at that quote of 16 to 1. So number 2, the top selection, and the value in the race for me, horse number 8, Onisan.
Yep, Ryle suggesting ignore the times in the maidens when Onisan was being beaten by horses like Sydney and October Morn. But I just feel if Baltic Secret has to win race number 5, then this horse will shorten further in a big way. Number 2, October Morn. So 2 and 1 for the place accumulator and for the bar pot. And if you're looking for a rough result, then maybe consider number 8, Onisan. The 7th race is the World Sports Betting Stormflay Stakes. It's a listed race over 1,800 meters. Let's go to the horses in single figures. Number 1, Future Pearl at 11 to 2. 6, Flower of Saigon at 7 to 1. 7, Gold Poker Game at 9 to 2. I've taken down the betting for a filly that I like here, called Lady Silvano. She's trading at 10 to 1, and I make a huge value in the race, especially if you judge her on her best form. And when I say her best form, runs like to Sarki when she beat her. Even that last start to Fun Zone, that was a good run. 11 at 6 to 1, 12 at 8 to 1, and 14, Love is a Rose at 8 to 1. I find it very difficult to narrow down my selections in this race. I know Future Pearl, possibly, the fixed odds betting market got that horse up at 11 to 2. And then 7, Gold Poker Game at 9 to 2. Those horses are on top. But I'll make it more competitive than the betting market suggests.
Yeah. When I first had a look at the race, I looked at that form line behind Going Up, and these 2 fillies from the backyard, Who Do You Love and Gold Poker Game, they come out clear above Love is a Rose, Do Angels Cry, Broadway Girl, and Young Love. And the question I asked myself is, with the way that they finished last time out, can Love is a Rose, who's drawn worse now, she's drawn 14 out of 14, can she reverse the form with those 2 best fillies? And I know it is over 1,800 meters and she's got Richard Fourier aboard, but that 14 draw is a huge negative for me. So I have gone with the 2 best horses, and then I've included number 1, Future Girl, from the best of the draws. She's a horse that last time out she would have needed out in, and I think that she would have tightened up a lot. 1,800 meters, I think it's going to suit her down to the ground, and I think she'll turn the form around with stable companion Lady Silvano on their last outing. So numbers 1, 7, and horse number, Who Do You Love in this race, number 11. So 1, 7, 11. Those are going to be the 3 horses for me in race number 7. I think it could be a form result here. But as you heard from D's, number 8, Lady Silvano, he likes a bit at around 10 to 1 in the market. Feels she could be overpriced. And if she was to come through to win for Ashton Aries and Brett Crawford, that would certainly be a very, very nice result in the exotics for you. And that's race number 7. Next up will be race number 8, which is a grade 3 event over the 1,950 meter trip. And who's that horse? Is it number 5, Top Quality, or is it number 6, Solar Power?
I was so disappointed with myself last time out with Top Quality. So disappointed with myself. I had myself ready, steady, go to back the horse. That was the day they had the 5 races and the meeting got abandoned. And this was the 5th race. This was the last race. And the way it was going on and off with rain there, and it was just, the weather actually put me off more than anything else, because I was waiting for this horse to come out. The horse loves the soft. He's a horse that just grows an extra leg. I mean, he is an absolute mudlark, this horse. He loves the mud. And I just chickened out. I mean, come race time, I just left it. And the way he won.
12 to 1.
As I said, I was in studio. I was working at Gallop TV. And I was watching the race meeting and the visuals and everything, just the on and off, the rain, the stop start. And I was just wondering, I mean, this horse is coming off a long break. I don't know how ready he'll be. I knew he's going to love the conditions, but how ready he was going to be to handle those severe, heavy conditions on the day with the pouring rain, etc. Those jockeys were coming back. You couldn't recognize them, most of them. I mean, that's how bad it was on the day. But I missed a trick with him last time out. And at 7-2, I can see why they got him at the top of the betting boards. Number 1's at 9-2, number 6 is at 9-2, 7 is at 11-2, and then they got the favorite at 7-2, which I make the only danger. They joined favorites numbers 5 and 10 at 7-2, but it's raining William, who's got the right name for the weather conditions down in Cape Town. I mean, he's yet to be proven in the wet, although he's had 2 starts for 2 places. He's yet to win, whereas a horse like Top Quality, I think that last start would have brought him on a ton. And the way he came back from that break, I think the lack of this interrupted prep would not, dent his chances at all. Yeah. I like this horse a lot.
I'm with you, Deez. I like this individual as well. I thought he won with a bit more in hand than a winning margin does suggest last time out. He beat Gainsford, and he was comfortably clear of the opposition. And I think that he's going to take a step forward. As you heard from Deez, he enjoys the soft conditions, and it's likely to come up soft once again on Saturday. But this horse here, he's a 4-year-old that's lightly raced. He's only had 8 starts for 3 wins, and he seems to be a horse that's coming along in the right way. The step up in distance only going to play into his hands. And JP van der Merwe aboard, well, he's 1 from 1 aboard him, and we'll be looking to make it 2 from 2 and get this Group 3 success for the Snake team. Of course, JP was aboard It's Raining William when he won the 2nd leg of the Winter Series, so he'll certainly be hoping that he can win the 3rd and final leg of the Winter Series aboard number 5, Top Quality. He looks to have a huge chance in race number 8. And 7-2, well, that's a nice price about an individual that could certainly go through the divisions. Next up will be race number 9, 1,200 meters distance. This is a Class 4 event for the fillies and mares. And it's quite a competitive race, a race where I think you possibly need to include a few horses into the final leg of that pick 6 and place accumulator. Flying V, the 2-year-old taking on older horses, is at 33-10, 5-1 Enemy Territory, 11-2 Apple Catcher. Where's the party? Well, we'll see if she takes her place. She's at 11-2 in the market, 13-2 Flying First, and then it's 8-1 and Better Bar. Those numbers 1 and 12, the 2 scratchings in this event at this time. And Deez, your thoughts on the race? I think it's quite tricky.
This is a race I'm willing to take on this 2-year-old. We've seen some smashing performances from 2-year-olds around the country in open company and how they're disposing of these older horses. Maybe she could be another one. She's had a bit of time to get her mind on racing and get to know, how the job needs to get done. And with 53.5 kgs on her back, you're going to have to be the judge if you think that she has achieved a higher rating than 82. Because at this time of the year, the 2-year-olds, let's have a look at it, they receive 8.5 kgs. That's the weight for age allowance. So if you work that out, that is 17 pounds minus 82. So you go to 72 minus 7. You just needed to run down to a very, very low rating here of around a 65 or so. So against this type of field, she could be ahead of the handicapper, and I can see why they got her up at 7-2, because she's taking some horses with some type of form to recommend, but I think she's beatable. That's the stance I'm going to take. And we like horses in the pick 6 in race number 4. I like Bereave. We both agreed on that 2-year-old Baltic Secret, and then I like Top Quality. So we played it short in a few of the legs. And if you're running in the exotics, this type of race, you don't want to be nervous with 1 or 2 runners. If your bankers arrive and you got the field here, then you're hoping for the worst result. And a race like this could spring up the worst result. Yeah, it could definitely do just that. And it's the type of race where you, as Deez mentioned, you don't want to be stressed in. You want cover and include as many as the budget does allow in race number 9. Race number 10, the final race on the day, which is the Cape B Stakes over 1,100 meters. 5 o'clock is off time for race number 10, and it's a wide open market here. It's a full field at the time of recording of 16 runners, and they're betting 6-1 the field. Felskun 6-1, Elusive Trader, Tchaikovsky at 7, Bluff on Bluff at 8, along with Rod the Mod, Ragnar Lothbrock, and then it's 10-1 about Dance Variety, who did run second
beaten half a length on Thursday, so just watch if he does take his place. Now, D's, this lineup here, with number 16, Elusive Trader. I'm with the old boy, Richard aboard. He loves the course and distance. Wet conditions does not bother him at all. From that wide draw up the lane, obviously Rich is he's gonna want to attack over to the best possible position, the best possible going in the race. This horse, I think he's gonna get a lovely toe into the race. He's gonna be given a chance, and he'll be doing his best work at the finish. 1100 meters suits him down to the ground. The 1000 just seems to be a bit too quick for him. He gets there, he gets going a bit too late. But the 1100 meters, that's his game. That's what he loves. And I think with Richard aboard, 54 on the back, he's extremely well weighted. I think this horse will get his 6th career victory. He's been super consistent of late. Run up last time out, 13 in his penultimate start. So I'm happy to take 16-1 about Elusive Trader over this course and distance.
Well, that is it, 6-1 about Elusive Trader. What price is number 5, Champion Warrior?
Champion Warrior, 12-1.
Yeah, that's still too narrow. If you told me 20-1, I would have got excited, because a horse that started off his career with a bang, his both wins have been Durbanville. It seems to be a course that suited him. But for some reason or the other, I don't know what it is, this horse has seemed to have lost his way. They gelded him on the 2nd of February. He's had 3 starts back since gelding. He hasn't shaped up. Last time out, they put the money down. He didn't arrive. This time, it is blinkers. So they're trying everything with him just to try and recapture his earlier form. What I like is that maybe an 84 was too high for him. He's now come slightly down to an 89. You know, this horse showed the ability. Having had back-to-back wins, very few horses around the country win straight out the maidens, and he was one of them that did just that. And when I look at his form at Hollywoodbets Durbanville compared to what he's done at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, you know, you start thinking maybe it's the course, but I don't think it's the course. I just think there's something at the bottom of this horse. Last time out, when he was backed from 8-1 into 4-1, I just told myself maybe Brett Crawford and the team, you know, they found something with him and he's going to bounce back to his best. I watched him race. He didn't show me anything to give me confidence. But the fact that they're gone with blinkers, well, he's having his 4th run up at gelding, you know. Let's see how he goes. But if I had to pick the value in the race, just because of the way he started off his career, I'll be with number 5, Champion Warrior.
That's number 5 at around 12-1. That's going to be the value in the final race for D's, and I'm with number 16. That's Elusive Trader at around 6-1. So maybe you can play some swingers, exactors, boxed with those 2 numbers to close off proceedings. And that's the 10 races on the program out at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. Hopefully, we've managed to guide you in the right direction. In the couple of legs, we have gone a bit short. We've gone with a couple bankers on the cards. Hopefully we managed to catch the pick 6 on the day. It's a bet that we all want to catch, and we look forward to racing on Saturday.